Before the sea closes in. Before isolation turns tension into truth. Make sure you're subscribed. This isn't a story about luxury. It's about proximity. About what happens when professionalism is tracked. Below deck with desire. Now stay with me. I didn't expect the yacht to feel like a living thing. That's my first thought as my heels touch the polished teak deck. How the vessel hums beneath my feet, low and steady like a restrained breath. The ocean around us is deceptively calm. Slate blue stretching endlessly in every direction. Sunlight glinting off the water with an almost mocking serenity. This is supposed to be simple. 3 days. A routine audit. Then back to land. That's what I told myself when I accepted the assignment. I didn't factor in him. Miss Carter. The voice comes from behind me, deep, controlled, etched with amusement. I turn. Julian Cross stands near the railing, jacket already off, sleeves rolled with the kind of casual confidence money buys early and wears comfortably. White linen shirt, open at the collar. Sunglasses pushed up into dark hair the sea breeze hasn't dared disturb. Billionaire. Owner. Problem. I didn't expect you personally, I say evenly. He smiles slightly. I don't trust intermediaries. That explains a lot, I reply. His gaze flicks over me, not lingering, not dismissive. Evaluating. You're early, he says. I like to observe systems before they adjust to being watched. Something sharp flashes behind his eyes. Good, he says. This yacht has secrets. I arch a brow. They usually do. Below deck the air changes. It's warmer. Closer. The scent of polished wood, salt, and something distinctly masculine. Expensive cologne layered beneath sea air. The corridors are narrow. Intentional. Efficient design, Julian says, noticing my glance. Forces awareness. Or collision, I murmur. His mouth curves. Depends how you walk. I set up in the main cabin, spreading documents across a sleek table that probably cost more than my annual rent. Julian lingers nearby, pretending to review his phone while watching me from the corner of his eye. You're not required to supervise, I tell him without looking up. I know, he replies. I want to. That's rarely a good reason. For you, he says. Or for me. I meet his gaze then. For either of us, I say. The silence stretches, thick, charged. Then the first roll hits. The yacht tilts slightly, just enough to shift my balance. I steady myself against the table, fingers splaying over cool glass. Julian's hand comes out of nowhere. Firm at my elbow, grounding me instantly. The contact is brief. But my pulse doesn't get the memo. Storm's coming in faster than forecast, he says quietly. I pull my arm back, professionalism snapping into place. We can finish before it hits. You won't be able to leave, he replies. I didn't say I wanted to. Something about that lands differently. By evening, the sky has turned bruised purple. Clouds piling thick and heavy on the horizon. The sea grows restless, waves slapping the hull with more insistence. Crew members secure lines, voices raised over wind. Julian steps closer to me again, lowering his voice. We'll be anchored here overnight. Is that safe? I ask. For the yacht, he says. Yes. And for the audit? I press. His eyes hold mine. That depends on how well you focus. Dinner is served below deck. No formal table. No spickthickin. Just the two of us, seated too close in a space that was never meant for distance. The yacht rocks steadily now, enough to make every movement deliberate. My knee brushes his under the table, accidental, but neither of us moves away immediately. You don't eat much, he observes. I don't like distractions. Funny, he says. Most people find food comforting. I find clarity comforting. His gaze sharpens. And yet you chose a career built on uncovering messes. Because messes reveal truth, I reply. And what does truth reveal about you? He asks. I don't answer. The storm answers for me. A crack of thunder so close it rattles the glasses. The lights flicker once. Then stabilize. For now. Later, as the wind howls louder and rain lashes the deck above, I retreat to the cabin assigned to me. It's smaller than I expected. The bed is narrow. The walls close. The door creaks as the yacht shifts. I set my back down, heart thudding for reasons that have nothing to do with the weather. A knock sounds. Once. Then again. I open the door. Julian stands there, expression unreadable, candle in hand. The electric lights behind him dim to emergency mode. Power fluctuation, he says. Backup's holding, but I thought you'd prefer light. The candle throws shadows across his face, softening the angles, turning him into something less defined. More dangerous. I'm fine, I say. I know, he replies. This isn't about fine. I hesitate, then step aside. The cabin feels smaller with him inside. Too small. He sets the candle down, the flame dancing between us. You should rest, he says. So should you. He doesn't move toward the door. You don't like me, he says quietly. I don't trust you, I correct. That's not the same thing. No, I admit. It isn't. The yacht rocks hard, throwing us slightly off balance. Instinctively, his hand comes to my waist, steadying me. This time he doesn't let go immediately. Neither do I pull away. The moment stretches, charged, breathless. This is a mistake, I whisper. Yes, he agrees softly. And yet, he echoes. Our faces are inches apart now. I can feel the warmth of him, the steadiness beneath the chaos outside. His thumb presses lightly at my side, not claiming, just acknowledging. If you say stop, he murmurs, I will. I search his eyes. Not hunger. Restraint. That's what unnerves me. The storm rages outside, waves pounding the hull, trapping us in this suspended moment. I don't say stop, but I don't say go either. Instead I breathe, and in that breath one undeniable truth surfaces. I was sent here to audit a yacht. I wasn't prepared to audit the man who owns it. And as the candle flickers between us, the line between professional and personal begins to blur. Dangerously, irresistibly. This storm isn't passing tonight. And neither is the tension below deck. The storm doesn't ease. It intensifies. The yacht groans as another wave slams into the hull. A deep metallic sound that vibrates through the walls and straight into my bones. The candle flame wavers violently, throwing our shadows across the cabin. Too close, overlapping, impossible to separate. Julian's hand is still at my waist. Not tightening. Not moving. Just there. A point of certainty in a world that has started to tilt. Say something, he murmurs. I swallow. My throat feels dry despite the humidity creeping into the cabin. Step back, I say. He does. Immediately. That should reassure me. Instead, it unsettles me even more. The lights flicker again. This time they don't recover. The cabin plunges fully into candlelight. The storm outside roaring loud enough now that the yacht feels less like luxury and more like shelter. Backup's gone, Julian says quietly, glancing at the ceiling. Emergency systems will keep us stable, but we're not moving until morning. So we're trapped, I say. Yes. The word hangs between us. Trapped. Below deck. Alone. With nothing left to distract us from the awareness humming in the air. I can take the couch in the main cabin, he adds. You'll have privacy. I hesitate. It would be the sensible choice. The professional choice. But something in me resists. Not recklessly, not impulsively. Thoughtfully. You don't need to leave, I say finally. Just don't crowd me. His eyes lift to mine, searching. I won't, he promises. The night stretches long. The storm peaks somewhere around midnight, wind shrieking like it's trying to tear the yacht apart. I lie on the narrow bed, fully dressed, listening to the rhythm of the waves and the steadier rhythm of Julian moving quietly nearby, checking latches, bracing furniture, making sure nothing shifts too violently. He's competent under pressure. That shouldn't surprise me. It does. At some point, the yacht lurches hard enough to throw me sideways. I gasp, grabbing the edge of the mattress. Julian is at my side instantly. Easy, he says, steadying me. This time I don't pull away. I let myself lean into him just for a second, until the world steadies again. You okay? He asks. Yes, I reply. Just disoriented. Me too, he says quietly. We end up sitting on the edge of the bed. Not touching, but close enough that I can feel the warmth radiating from him. The candle sits on the floor, its glow softening the hard lines of his face. You know, I say, staring at the flame, people think men like you enjoy control. I do, he replies. But, but control isn't the same as peace, he says. It's just quieter chaos. I glance at him. And this? I gesture vaguely around us. This is loud chaos, he says. But honest. I don't know why that resonates so deeply. Hours later, the storm finally begins to weaken. Not end, just loosen its grip. The yacht still rocks, but less violently. The roar outside fades into a steady, manageable rhythm. Julian exhales slowly, tension draining from his shoulders. You can sleep now, he says. So can you. I'll rest when we're docked. I shake my head. You're human. Seat. He does. This time our shoulders touch. Neither of us comments on it. Fatigue strips away the last layers of pretense. In the dim light, he looks less like a billionaire and more like a man who's been carrying too much for too long. Why did you really agree to this audit? He asks suddenly. The truth. I reply. Yes. Because I wanted to see if the rumors were true. I admit. That you build perfect systems to avoid dealing with imperfect people. He doesn't deny it. And he asks. And I think you do it because you don't trust what happens when people get close. His jaw tightens. That includes you, he says. Yes, I reply. Especially me. Silence settles again, but it's different now. Less tense. More exposed. Sometime before dawn, I wake to warmth. Not imagined. Real. Julian is lying beside me. Not touching, but close enough that the shared heat of our bodies has pushed back the cold seeping in from the sea. I should move. I don't. He stirs, eyes opening slowly. For a moment, we just look at each other. No words. No defenses. The candle has burned low, the first gray light of morning slipping in through the small window. If we were on land, I whisper, this wouldn't happen. He nods. I know. And after this, after the audit, I won't pretend this night didn't exist, he says quietly. But I won't trap you in it either. The respect in that statement hits harder than desire ever could. Good, I say softly. Because I won't be a secret. You won't, he agrees. Morning brings calmer seas. By the time the crew regains full control and systems are restored, the yacht feels different, less claustrophobic, less charged. The world has returned. But something has shifted. We stand on deck as the sun breaks through the clouds, turning the ocean into hammered gold. You'll file your report, Julian says. Yes. And it will be honest. Yes. A pause. And about me? He asks. I meet his gaze. I'll say the yacht is seaworthy, I reply. And the owner is more complex than expected. A faint smile curves his mouth. I'll take that. When we dock later that day, there's no spectacle. No dramatikudye. Just a quiet moment at the gangway. Dinner, he says. Not a demand. Not an expectation. On land. I consider him the man beneath the billionaire, the steadiness beneath the power. After the report, I say. Fair. He steps back, giving me space. That matters. Weeks later, when I submit the audit, it's thorough. Professional. Uncompromising. And when Julian calls, not about the report but about dinner, I answer. Because what happened below deck wasn't a mistake. It was a revelation. I was sent to audit a yacht. Instead, I witness what happens when control meets vulnerability in the middle of a storm. And neither of us walked away unchanged. The sea calmed. The storm passed. But something between us, that stayed.